Well, firstly, thank you very much. I know it's Saturday afternoon. The main topic is about building with AI agents and specifically using Cloud Code uh, to do this development. Now, anytime you don't have it's not clear, just give me a shout.
Okay.
I'll try to explain a bit more. Okay, right. We are in the era that's known as the agents first era for uh, assisted AI assisted coding. So we'll cover a little bit of what that means. We'll cover more about Claude code itself. Next we'll see how we do prompting and how I've been doing prompting, and we'll do some hands-on items. If you guys want to do it, I'll tell you what to download, and we'll do a bit of Q&A. Okay.
Sounds good.
Uh, right. So moving on. Uh, I think we've all used AI coding of some sorts in the past. It starts with having the having autocomplete on our tools. It just gives you the next word. And I think everybody probably tried to stick into Chat GPT some codes and say, debug this for me. So we've tried that. So that's wave one and wave two. Where we are now is where we tell the agent or the code itself or the AI itself what we want, and then it starts figuring out what to do with it. And that's where it becomes actually quite good. Right. So firstly, I'm going to say I'm assuming that you guys know what an AI agent is, but if you're not sure, I will explain to you what it means. Okay.
Better give a brief, Saifar.
Okay.
Brief about it. Yeah.
Um, you've used ChatGPT. ChatGPT is basically a transformer apply artificial intelligence. It doesn't do anything. So what's an agent? An agent is when the AI can actually do something other than just doing inference. So it can read and write your files, it can run commands, it can browse the web, and it can actually do things. So that's what makes it an agent. So when we do agents first coding, the AI will actually do some planning. It will read your files, it will write your code, it will observe what happens, it will compile the code, checks what happened, do some linting, and then it will iterate. That means it will do this again and again until it reaches to a point that you have told it to do. So basically, you give it a goal, you give it a task, and it will continue until it finishes. Now, that's a good AI agent. Mr. Ahmad Munib, welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right. So now, in order for you to allow the AI agent to do these things, there's a little bit of trust that you need to have with the agent. So you need to allow it to do some things, and we'll cover the levels of trust that you have to give this agent before you can get it to do something effectively. Right. So previously we will do manual coding, suggested, and right now we are here. We are rightly where we are directing the AI, and the AI can start doing things autonomously. Right. So what are the popular options of AI coding right now? I've already mentioned Claude Code. Claude Code is from Anthropic, and the closest competitor to Claude Code, I would say, is Anti-Gravity from Google Gemini. And when it launched last year, I really, really liked it. However, sometime in the past few months, they actually broke it. It's not working as well as it used to. Then OpenAI or ChatGPT team, they actually released Codex recently. And Codex is released maybe about 2 months ago. GitHub and GitHub Copilot from Microsoft. It's been released from 2021. 2021, yes, more or less. Then we have the Chinese ones. There's Kimi from China, from Mistral AI, and Mistral AI from France. Now there are other agents that have been around, like Replit, Cursor, Lovable. Those are tools that were built around the use of all the other AI. So they actually don't have their own AI models. They use Claude, they use other people to actually do them. Claude Code. Claude itself, from Anthropic, there are 3 different models right now that are available for public. The first one is called Haiku. It's the cheapest, fastest model. It's not the smartest, but it will do most things for you. So, for example, when I'm building this slides, when I need to renumber the slides, I don't use the more expensive one. I just tell Haiku, okay, renumber the slides, fix my spelling, make sure that things are coherent, things like that. So it's actually doing it very quickly, and it does things mostly well. Sonnet is the one that I use quite a lot. It's the middle tier. It's actually quite good at most things. It will do code for you quite well. So it is a lot cheaper than Opus and almost as good. The top one is called Opus. When I'm doing planning, I will use Opus. When I'm trying to design something, I will use Opus because it is actually quite good at doing that. So if you want, you can think of Opus as your architect, Sonnet as your junior developer, Haiku's your intern. So you give Haiku all the easy stuff. You do most things with Sonnet. When you actually need to spend a lot more time, use Opus. But the one thing Opus has, you'll see later, is it has a lot more capability than these two. Right. Now, there are several versions of these. Going back here, there's terminal version. Let's see if I can bring terminal. Yes, here we go. The terminal version looks like this. So this is what the terminal looks like. So if you go to the YouTube, this is what a lot of people use. Using terminal is how it first started for Claude Code. And the one that I use is I'm using Visual Studio Code. So this is what it looks like. And this is over here on the bottom right is where you communicate with Claude. They have a version where you are actually using their own app. This app you actually download from Anthropic, and you can actually do the chat, Claude Cowork, and Claude Code as well. So that's the 3 version. There are 2 other versions. I wouldn't bother with them because unless you are using JetBrains, and you can use the web as well. I wouldn't bother using the web. It's not intuitive, and JetBrains is just another IDE. Now I use it in Visual Studio Code. The reason why I use it in Visual Studio Code is I've been using Visual Studio Code for a long time. It's a free IDE. If you're not sure what that is, I have a slide that tells you where to get it, and it gives me a view of the code, my files, a terminal, and most things that you need when you're trying to do some development. Okay, so that's how I use it most of the time. Now, does anybody need to know about Visual Studio Code? Are you okay?
Again, yes, Saiful.
Yeah,
Briefly, where to install
Visual
it
Studio
and
Code.
how to use
Visual
it.
Studio Code is a free integrated development environment from Microsoft. So you can you can just do a web search. You'll come to here, Code Visual Studio, and you can do download. It's really, really good. And it is supported by quite a lot of people, and it can be extended. It has modules that can extend. Mostly it's free. So you can, let me just show it to you quickly. We'll see a lot of these later on. So this is what it looks like. Here you have your file explorer. Here's your file editor. This is where you talk to your agents, right? I've got several. I've got I've got GitHub Copilot here. I've got Claude Code here, and I've got Codex here as well. I've got Kimi here as well. Sorry, no, this is Mistral, Kimi. So I've been using a lot of them. Along the way, I've paid $20 to each one of them somewhere to try the tools, right? So Visual Studio Code is a tool that has been out for a long time, and it has compilers and everything. So you can download it yourself. Right. Then in Visual Studio Code, what you would do is you go to the modules extensions, search for something called Claude on Visual Studio. Make sure it is from Entropic. It's got that tick mark. So make sure if you're getting it, you're getting Claude Code, you're getting from Entropic. Right. Now, unfortunately, Claude Code, there is no free version. You have to pay $20 to try Claude Code. Fortunately, however, anti-gravity from Google is free, and it works more or less the same way as Claude. And so you can try it. You can download it. I think everybody has Google ID. If not, just sign up for a Gmail ID and you will be able to use it. They give you a little bit of time for it, some tokens for you to try. It's not great. You won't be able to do a lot, but it'll be enough for you to just give it a try. Okay. Right. Now, earlier we talked about trust. This section right now is specific to Claude Code only. The others have also similar permission modes, but Claude Code is probably one of the better ones. That's one of the easier ones to understand. So normally, Claude will ask you for permission to do anything. It wants to edit a file, it will ask you for permission. It wants to browse, it will ask you for permission. And it becomes a pain when you keep saying yes, 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 yes. So you actually have to stay there and you cannot let it do by itself. Then the other level is where you allow it to do edits by itself. So you'll be able to change your file, you'll be able to edit your code by itself, but it still cannot run commands. There is a configuration file that you need to configure where you allow it to run a lot of the commands that you that it wants to do. But my God, is it a pain to actually do it? It is there's so many things to configure, and it becomes a point. a pain, sorry. Now, it has something called the plan mode, and I love plan mode. And I spend maybe 80% of my time with Claude in plan mode. In plan mode, it will be able to read, it will be able to think, it creates things for you, but it doesn't do any writing for you. It doesn't write any files down. It runs commands for it to be able to search, but it doesn't do anything that is dangerous. And you build this once you're in plan mode. At the end of plan mode, it will give you the plan of what it's going to do next. You go through the plan. We'll see this later. You go through the plan and you then authorize it. When you say authorize it, it goes to the auto accept mode, or you can give it the auto mode. Auto mode allows it to do most things that it needs to do automatically. It judges whether this is safe or not in auto mode, and most of the time it will be able to do its job in auto mode. Now, there is one final mode called bypass permission, or the God mode. When you set it to do bypass permission, it can do everything, including deleting your files, including deleting your folders. So be careful when you're working with AI. The first thing you will learn is context is king. Now, context is what you tell the model in order for it to do its job. So the agent or the AI is only as good as the context you give it. If you don't give it enough context, it will not be able to do what it's supposed to do. It will start hallucinating because it will try to do what it thinks that you like. If you give it too much context, it starts to forget things, and it will not pay attention to the context that you need, and it will forget instructions. It will again do what it likes based on its own training. So context management is really something that you will need to learn to do when you're working with AI. And this is not just with Claude, this is with any AI. They all have the same problem. Context is king. Context size for most of the model is about 256,000 tokens. But Opus, for example, and anti-gravity actually allows for almost 1 million tokens. Having said that, I never use anything more than roughly about between 45 to 65% of the token capability. I find that anything higher than 70%, 80%, it starts to lose concentration. It's basically you're occupying too much of its attention, so it starts ignoring some things that are important. So when you're coding with AI, when you're using AI agent coding, keep the context level between no more than 70. Start doing something, compressing it, compacting it roughly around about between 45 to 65%. Now, that's a bit of a pain if you're using one of the smaller models where its context is only about 256K. So that's why you end up using Opus in the end, although it's the most expensive, because it gives you that capability to run longer. So when the context gets to a point where it becomes too much, you issue a command that says compact, and it will compress its knowledge. It will start removing things that it thinks it doesn't need, the older ones, things that are not in current use. It does it quite well. It compacts the token, and your context is smaller, and you can start building up again, and it will tell you, we'll save this much, save that much. So these four items, they are all the same, whatever model you use, right? Context rots is basically what it is, stale context, things that will cause it problems. Now, Claude specifically has this file called claude.md. This is the beginning of its context. Whenever you start a session, when you give it an instruction, the first thing Claude does is it reads claude.md. So that's where you start building your context. It will read the claude.md, and then from the claude.md, it will continue finding out all the others that you need. So controlling your claude.md is very, very important. Right. claude.md, what do you put in claude.md? Basically, you tell it the things that you want to do with Claude. You tell it what the project is about, where your file structure, where your documentations are, where your code's supposed to be, what you want to do when you're testing. So you build this along as you do your development. Now, you cannot put everything that you have into claude.md. If you start doing that, you will immediately hit a maximum token very, very quickly. And all it does is it will keep reading your file again and again and again. So that then becomes a waste of time for you. So you need to structure your claude.md very carefully. Let me show you an example of how I have my claude.md. Here's an example of my claude.md for a project that I'm working on right now. So you say this is loaded in every session, what this project is about, who's working on the project, what the external dependencies are. So a lot of these are actually done with Claude. You tell it what to do, it will do it for you. Where the repos are, where the Claude is, where the files are, runtime state, right? So this happens to be a project that I'm working with using mobile. So where the backend is, what the backend is, what the market date is. So this is your claude.md. Now I try to keep my claude.md file roughly no more than 200 lines. So even my big projects, it usually goes to roughly about 180 to 200 lines. Let me just open this folder. Yeah, this is another example of the claude.md. So in this one, I give it instruction, plan first always. Before writing a single line of code or modifying a file, you must plan. State what you're going to do. So this is me instructing Claude exactly what I want it to do, right? And here I say, okay, load these modules. These are the files that I'm using. So when you do any kind of development, you have your documentations, right? You need to break down that documentation into modules. You want Claude to read your documentation so that it knows how the application is supposed to work, how the big one. Then all it does is, again, it will just keep reading. So you need to break it down. So here, you break down your documentation into smaller files so that you can easily manage the knowledge or the context that you give Claude. So for example, here, each one of these files that says onboarding, there are actually small documentations specifically for one particular module. And I find that I try not to go more than 200 lines, sorry, more than 800 lines for my documentation. When it gets to close to 800 to 1000 line, I tell Claude, split up this documentation into 2 files and based on the functions. So it will do it for you. Claude is very good at understanding the language, so it will do it reasonably well for you. Now, this is where I wouldn't use Opus to do it. I will tell Sonnet to do it, and even Haiku to do it. Haiku can actually do that. So that saves you money. And although you pay $20 or I pay $200 actually a month for this, but where I say it saves you money is you don't use all your tokens fast. So you'll be able to do more work with the same amount, right? So that's how you would do it. You split it up. Guys, believe it or not, it took me months to actually understand this until I realized what's happening. And I was hitting a brick wall every time. It comes to a point where I say, why are we using this? Why am I can do it faster coding myself. Then once I realized that context is where it's going wrong, and breaking your files down into smaller modules is what you need to do, then it starts working properly. And this 800, 1000 line is also a limit that I tell Claude, do not go more than 800 to 1000 lines, right? Whenever you have a file, whatever file you have, your Python file, your JS, CSS, any files that you're handling, 800 lines maximum. It hits 800 lines to 1000 lines, split it into 2 files. So that allows Claude to concentrate on the files. That's Claude.md. Skills. Now, skills are superpower for Claude. What skills are? Skills basically are small routines that have been written by you or by other people in order for you to be able to use Claude more effectively. Basically, these are shortcuts. They're basically prompts, but they're shortcuts to prompts that has been written by other people or by you. If you find yourself using the same prompt over and over again, then you turn it into a skill. Right? Now, prompting. When you want to prompt an AI, there's one item missing. It's supposed to say clear, C-L-E-A-R. Okay, I'll have to fix this. So basically, when you are doing this, you need to give the AI these 5 items. Now, this is when you're coding. When you're doing other things, they may require different things, but when you're coding, you need to give it this. You need to give it context. You need to tell it what its limits are so that it doesn't go over its limits. And it needs to know what the expected is for its expected output. You need to tell it what you expect to come out, what the action is, and you need to give it the references. So most of these comes into the context that what Claude is doing. Here's a prompt example, which we will use later on. You can say, build a Space Invaders game. and create it here, use HTML5 canvas, and use TypeScript. And you say, and then you give it the references, the descriptions of what it is that you want it to do. This is where you give it its references. This can be considered a reference or a limit. Say use 60 frames, make it fast, what its context is, so this is how you would give a good prompt to an AI. If you remember clear, you remember how to do a good prompt. I didn't create that, by the way. That is created by other people. Right, now we'll have a bit of a live demo. So let's go to, I want to save money, so I'm going to go to DeepSeek. Here's the prompt. You can go to DeepSeek. Right now, so that's a simple prompt that you would do, and DeepSeek will be running in the background doing that Space Invaders game. That's a prompt that I have created now. But earlier on, we talked about having some skills. Now, there's a skill that you can download called the Grill Me skills. What this Grill Me skill does is it actually interrogates you about what you want to do. Okay, let's have a quick look here. Now, let's go to Claude Code, open a new session, and I can now say, grill me. What do I want to grill me on? I want it to grill me on the same prompt that I used just now. See here, I'm in plan mode. I use the skill grill me. And now Claude is actually going off thinking. What am I in? I'm in Sonnet. That's fine. Yeah, here you can see which model you're using, right? The Sonnet, the default is Opus, and Haiku is here as well. That's how you change. So what's happening right now is Claude, using that skill, is now thinking about what I have given it. It looks through the files and is trying to figure out what to do. Guys, I'm sorry. I actually skipped a few steps about opening new projects and all that for Visual Studio Code because I'm assuming that you guys would be able to figure that out anyway. So here it's asking question. Question number 1, do the aliens shoot back? And I've responded yes, that the aliens shoot back. Now, in my prompt earlier, I didn't say anything about the aliens shooting back. So Claude here has thought about what it knows about the Space Invaders game, and you didn't tell it to shoot back. So it is asking you, do you want it to shoot back or not? How many player lives? Okay, let's say 3. Again, these are things that I didn't tell it. It goes by what it knows about video games, about this. So this is where the AI actually becomes quite good. It has a lot of general knowledge, a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. And what happens when the player destroys all the aliens? So let's say next wave, right? Yes, it's asking you all these questions. Okay, so Now, if you like, the grill me skill is like when we do business analysis at work. So this one skill is actually allowing us to do business analysis for this application. Does alien speed increase between waves? Yes. Both. Let's say both. Right, speed and scales of the surviving agents. Right, so it comes faster and faster, and this is normal for video games. How does the player restart the game? Press R. Okay. So whenever you want to do a new function, use the grill me skill, and it will start asking you a lot of these questions. Now, yesterday I tried to give it something so big that it comes with way too many, and I realized that it's not going to go anywhere. You have to split it into smaller modules. Can a player have multiple bullets in flight? Then we can say 1 bullet cooldown period. Let's say tell it. So it gives me 3 options here: 1 bullet max, cooldown only, small cap. So let's do small cap. Small cap of 5 bullets. No, 5 bullets is too many. Small cap of 2 bullets. So if you remember Space Invaders game, you can only shoot 1 bullet at a time. So here it's asking me, how many times can you shoot? How many alien bullets can be on screen at the time, and which aliens first? No caps on bullets. Basically, the grill me skill, what I'm showing you just now, it's not built into the model itself. You can actually tell the model, ask me clarifying questions until you understand it 95% and all these things. But that's basically what this grill me skill is doing. Now, this grill me skill was written by this guy called Matt Pocock, and he's actually very, very good. Let's say, okay. Let's say canvas only.
So Saiful, in the background, you're running in the DeepSeek, right? In the same.
Yeah, we are running DeepSeek in the background. Let's see where DeepSeek has gotten to. Windows, DeepSeek. It's finished.
So this has built the game, right?
It has built. Well, let's see. I don't know. I've not tried it. Let's download it.
But this will not be like you don't have an options to grill me. Like grill me, you don't have the options to ask his intelligence, right? To use his intelligence, to use the prompt.
Well, no, it doesn't, because you didn't tell it to. You give it a prompt, it will do it. Right?
Okay.
Grill me, you tell it to grill you, but there is no / command for called grill me here.
Okay.
Right? The reason why why it's not there, because this is a version that is running on the web only. You can't install anything. But what you can do, you can actually tell it. Okay, so we've downloaded it just now.
Okay.
Okay, we've downloaded it just now, but let's go back. Right? Let's go back and see here. It's all where it's doing its thinking, right? This is the prompt just now. So it's thought about it for 110 seconds. We need to build we must build output, use this. So this is the model DeepSeek thinking. Every transformer AI does this exactly the same thing, but transformer AI are probabilistic. So if you run it the same prompt twice, you might not get exactly the same thing. But here, you can actually say, okay, let's edit that prompt. And then you can say, let's put it somewhere. Let's edit this prompt, and you can say, this is the requirements. Okay. Ask me clarifying questions. Right? You can do things like this. You can say, ask me clarifying question, then we'll ask you questions. You can also say, think deeply. So I wouldn't do it here, but okay. So now we are going to send this again, and we will see whether DeepSeek does that or not. We'll ask you a question. I have no idea whether it will do it or not. But going back here, should different areas have different colors? It says yes. Let's check on DeepSeek. Oh, we told it to ask questions. So it's asking a lot of questions here. Okay. You know what? Let's change that. You can actually say, change this. And it says, ask me clarifying questions, one at a time. And we should say, it should be saved as an HTML file. Right. Okay. So let's go back to our Claude. Right. So it's still saying it's planning. Yeah, we've got two AI agents working together now. Well, independently, but both trying to do one game. Okay, now Claude has said, okay, I've got this plan. And this is a workshop demo project, right? Space Invaders. You know what? I'm going to say, I'm going to add something here. Now, this is the plan that Claude has created for me, right? And what you should do is you should go through the plan and see what it's doing, what it says it's going to do, and then authorize it. Now, seeing as DeepSeek there failed just now, which is a bit of a surprise, let's put something here and say, let's set a comment. I want to be able to run this application from a browser. Okay. Now, okay. So I've authorized it to do here I'm actually going to switch to using Opus, and I'm going to change this to auto mode, right? So the reason why I say I'll run it with Opus, because Opus actually has a lot more tokens and will be able to do things a little bit better, a bit longer. Let's figure out why we can't do it here just now. Okay. Okay, let's download this. Hey, check it out. It doesn't quite do anything.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now you know what I would do here. You can actually go back to you can go back to DeepSeek and says the now most likely if you go to here, TypeScript Arcade, if you say develop, show JavaScript console, yeah, see, there's an error here. Copy selected, go to Windows, go back here, and here is the error. There you go. Now it's going to go fix it. And let's go back here. Our Claude is still chugging along, building it. I hope Claude works. I've not tried this. I should have tried this before I do a demo, right?
It is asking intelligent question. Hopefully it will work.
Say again.
It was asking some intelligent questions, Saifal. So most probably it may work.
Yeah.
So let's have a quick look here. Oh, right. DeepSeek is actually surprisingly, I'm surprised it didn't work this time, but just now. But this DeepSeek is actually quite good. I sometimes use DeepSeek because it's free. I sometimes use DeepSeek as my sounding board. I will do something on Claude or ChatGPT or something. I will take the output, give it to DeepSeek, and then I will tell it, evaluate this critically, or I will tell it, I don't agree with this document. Give me a criticism of this document. So it will actually do that. If you don't tell it to be critical, it will tell you how wonderful the document is and how everything is so good. You're such a brilliant guy.
Oh.
Oh, that's working.
Yeah. So it had an error. We gave it the
Yeah.
error just now,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's oh, wow. This is good.
right? That's not bad, is it?
No,
No.
very good, very good, very good. Very good. But here the driver was very good, no? To drive DeepSeek, to find out what is the error and give it to it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never,
but that's
never gave up.
see, but that's exactly what I do when I do this development. When it doesn't work, you go find where the error is, tell it, go fix it, right?
Yeah, good. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, it created TS files, then you asked for HTML,
Mm-hmm.
and then error, fixed the error.
It works better.
You
It
built this
works
in
better
10
than
minutes, Faisal, whereas the original developer would have taken a month.
Yeah, to do. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually. I'm actually glad that
Saifal is always intuitive to learn stuff. I know him from the beginning. Yeah. He will not leave anything so easily. You did not take any training, Saifal, am I right? You just learned on your own.
Exactly.
My training is on the job, and I use a lot of YouTube videos to look at it, but a lot of it is trial and error.
Mhm.
And
No, I'm asking about this Claude.
no,
You
no,
learned
no,
on
no,
your own.
I
Did you take any training?
no, there's no. I didn't take any formal training, but to say that I didn't take formal training, there is a lot of material
Mhm.
available on the. There we go. We won. There is a lot of material available in YouTube to actually tell you
Mhm.
how to do these things. Oh,
Also, somebody have to have a skill to use all those materials. There are a lot of materials. What to use and how to make use of it. It's not so easy.
yeah, you do need to spend some time with it. Like I said, understanding context took me months, and I was really hitting brick wall. And that's why I spent time trying to explain to you context. Okay, it says it's done here. Server is up and returning 200. The game is live here. Okay, let's give it a try. It created a server. Okay,
Mhm.
check it
Wow.
out.
It's
Bravo. Saifal.
but
But it does not hit. Why?
it's written from top to down to bottom.
Yeah, the bullets are going the other way.
There is a fault
Yeah,
here.
the other way. Yeah.
There's a fault here. So copy selected. Let's go back to Claude and say, fix this error. See, I cannot shoot. I cannot move. So restart. I can restart this. Yeah. Ah, look, I can move left and right. Okay, done. Link. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now we give it this error. It edited it. Okay, it says done. So let's see whether it actually does it. Reload. Yeah, check it out.
No. It's are there two bullets fired at the same time? Yeah, looks like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we. Oh, look, it's going faster. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. Apologies for actually swearing just now. But there you go. Well, that worked better, but it's actually firing a lot more bullets than I thought. No, actually, it's two
No,
bullets.
two at a time.
Two at a time.
Anytime.
Yeah, we told it to allow two
And
at a
from
time,
both
right? And it
sides.
does.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, game over. Score. All right, guys. That's I think on that high note. On that high note, where is my presentation? Nowhere. Where is the presentation? I've lost it.
Saifal, just to understand, regarding these tokens, so ideally for the OPEX, I mean Opus, I'm seeing the price around $25, right?
Opus, Claude is around $25 for a pro license, for a pro
Output.
subscription.
So there is a different thing. There is an output and there is input. Output is 25 and the input is 5 per 1 million tokens.
Okay, you're talking about using the API. If you're using it using the API keys, you're going to pay a lot of money because the packages, the subscription that they give is highly subsidized.
Okay. So
Right?
in general, Opus is like a per month cost, or how you are paying this or to subscribing this?
Yeah, I'm actually paying roughly for all my AI, I'm paying roughly around $250 a month.
No, for Opus, how much you're
For
specifically
Opus itself,
getting?
I'm paying $200.
$200.
Yes,
Okay.
because I'm using it heavily. I'm actually, I mean, I might not be going to an office, but I'm actually working. I'm developing all of these. Yeah. So it actually it's quite a lot of work. You know what? Let me show you. Right, in test flight. Open. Okay. We start onboarding. This is an app that I am. How do I make this? Yeah, there we go. This is an app that I have started some development, and it's about stock trading. It asks you a few questions about why are you doing stock trading, what's your investment horizons. It tells you I'm going to walk through 3 quick scenarios so that I can calibrate your risk posture, right? So 2 months from now, you had 10,000 real at $10,000, and you lost, you dropped to $7,000. What do you do, right? Let's say hold and wait. So this I'm just going to go very quickly. Right. This app is written using Claude, and let's say, and what this app has, and the background is actually using a local LLM. Okay, question number 1, what best describes an agentic from tool? Answer is C. It can plan, edit file, run command, and iterate on the result. That's what makes it agentic. Otherwise, it is just a tool. Yeah. In Claude Code, what happens in plan mode? You saw it just now.
B.
Yeah.
B.
B.
Yeah, B. It writes a proposed plan and waits for the approval. Okay. In clear, in the clear framework, what does L stands for?
Limit.
Limit. That's right. And I put this in. Why is Claude Code useful in a repository?
Not B.
Answer is B. Yeah, it defines the project. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions for me? Anything I can clarify?
Saifal, it is very interesting, but we need to put our own hands before we can ask you any questions. The only question I have is, when is the next session?
Saiful, it was a great introduction. For we want to, I mean, especially I want to try the Claude, but today understood that how to use it, and there is a 3 options we have, and RoseMe is very good option. It's not only for the coding, for any decision making, RoseMe should be a very best option.
Yeah, grill me, not roast me, but yes. Now, guys, there is, if you want to do it for free, try Google Anti-Gravity.
But Saiful, do you know if companies are now using AI for development? Are there any big companies taking it up?
Well, I know Apple is using it. You know why I know Apple is using it?
Yeah.
Recently they released an update and they accidentally left Claude.md in one of the files. And then they sent another update to remove it. So the short answer is yes. I'm sure people are using it, companies are using it.
Are we going to have any follow-up session, Saifal?
If you tell you what, send me questions, then I will do a follow-up session to address the questions and maybe to address some other aspects of it. So send me something.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah, so that way I know what to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Saifal. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Saiful.
much.
You're most welcome.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Bye.